And welcome to the Daily Space Weather. We're going to look at magnetic data and solar features. Thanks to the smAsho team. Please consider becoming a member of the smAsho team if you appreciate the content and would like to see it continue to exist and remain publicly visible. There are our most recent posts. Please consider joining at the gold, silver, or gold annual paid-up subscription level. Help us out. Also, don't forget to press like and subscribe and tell your friends and foes about us. If you're a larger channel, host us. We'll be happy to do an interview with you or to have you appear on our channel. So we're looking at the GOES magnetometer data here. Nothing too exciting happening there. Here's the Gong 2 data. Part of the National Sunspot Observatory, Earth is remaining in a South Pole current sheet. I don't expect that to change anytime soon. The South Pole current sheet shown here in red, North Pole current sheet shown in green. Here's a line of sight view. Talk about a complex magnetogram. Lots of sunspots, as many as 10 sunspot groups at the moment on the solar disk, and a new region rising. Next, the coronal hole line of sight plot. It also shows you the sun's B field in blue. You can see a very significant South Pole-oriented coronal hole here rotating in. It's trans-equatorial in nature. Those are the most geo-effective coronal holes. They're sending high-speed protons our way. So we can expect to see this one get more defined, this one over here, as the corona is very bumpy, and it's difficult to see the features in it when it's not facing the Earth. But this one is certainly facing the Earth, and that's going to be the source of the geomagnetic unrest and storm conditions forecasted by NOAA on the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard. We talked about it in our previous video. Make sure you watch all of our video content. They all contain slightly different features of the sun. Next, the solar flare probability monitor and detected sunspot groups. You can see there was a point here where there were 10 sunspot groups, and pushing 11 as this new region up here is indeed a sunspot. Make sure you watch our bonus features segment. We'll show you that in high res. It'll premiere after this video. So major activity there. And here taking a look at sunspots. Sunspot 2924's umbrae are larger than the Earth. This one also, it's actually producing a coronal mass ejection as we make the video. There was an M-class flare. Make sure you check out our previous video to watch close-ups of that as well. Some interesting, maybe an alien spacecraft showing up in the 94 angstroms wavelength. So here it is in 131 angstroms. It's an M-class solar flare, the largest we've seen in quite a long time, before that sunspot is even named. A little bit of flaring was happening while we created today's videos. There you can see that M-class flare. The peak flux of that was around 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock in the morning here, universal time. 2 a.m. universal time, peak flux of that flare. It didn't produce any relativistic particles yet. I sort of doubt that it will at this point. No spikes in the proton flux. Let's go to the real-time solar wind, which has been mostly uneventful here over the past 24 hours. Current conditions are solar wind speed about 350 kilometers per second. Solar wind density 12.7 protons per cubic centimeter. KP index only at 1 or 0 for the past 3 days. It's a geomagnetic calm situation. Here's the geospace from space over the past 4 hours. We show it daily on our daily space weather videos. If you're interested in what was happening on a previous day in the past 4 years, chances are our channel has at least 4 hours of data on this. Earth's magnetic moment from space, magnetohydrodynamic pressure in nanopascals. Next, Earth magnetic moment from the ground. Here is the ground magnetic perturbations, changes to Earth's B field, expressed as geospace delta B in nanotesla. That's magnetic flux density. We'll let that play through as it has refreshed, and we don't edit the videos. They're basically in a live format. Make sure you follow us on twitch.tv/smAshomash. Maybe download the app. You'll see when we go live. We've been doing our meteorology segments on there. Anyway, that's 4 hours of magnetic data from the ground level. Next, the forecast for the solar system. Here's where things are located now. We'll advance this 1 week. Here's where we'll be in a week. Full moon coming in a couple of days here. Also, we've got a star chart. There's a huge pileup happening. We've got Mars, Venus, the Sun, the Moon, and Saturn. No, that's Mercury. Mars, Venus, the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn all showing up there on the ecliptic. That's the yellow line. The blue line there is the galactic plane. Next, our coronal mass ejection watch. It's actually a warning. And there may be one in the earthly vicinity here. We're looking at the perspective of stereo A here at Lagrange 5 and the LASCO C2 located at Lagrange 1. Oh, that's the LASCO C3, my bad. The LASCO C3 here located at Lagrange point 1 in between the Earth and the Sun. And we're expecting some fireworks here, as again, there was a coronal mass ejection on the earthly portion of the solar disk. Now, when we talk about forecasting coronal mass ejections, folks, it's only for this area, not this area. As from stereo A's perspective, Earth is off in this direction. And that's the reasoning behind it. Last but not least, make sure you press like and subscribe. Tell your friends and foes about the channel. Thanks, YouTube viewers, for putting up with the pathetic censorship on the platform. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. smAsho, signing off from the Smash News Network, least busted name in news.